Madam Chair.
Thank you, Senator Fisher. Senator Tester.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Dr. Cliff, you pointed out in your opening statement what's gone on with fatalities around the country. Montana's no exception. You also talked about the fact that there's more dollars for you to work with to actually do some good things when it comes to addressing fatalities. Could you be somewhat specific in some of the things you're looking at where the greatest opportunity is for fatality reduction on our highways?
Thank you, Senator Tester, for that question. One of the issues, and you mentioned Montana, where rural fatalities are quite a challenge. We know that about 19% of the population is in rural communities, but about 45% of the fatalities are in rural communities. So one of the things that we find in our research is that those who are unbelted is one of the leading causes of fatalities in rural communities. So we have actually developed some campaigns directed at rural communities to get the word out about the need to use seatbelts. And that's an opportunity to very quickly drive down the numbers that you cite. As well, we have additional research into technologies that can help improve outcomes. The New Car Assessment Program is one of those where there's an opportunity to provide information to consumers about the safety of vehicles. And that's, I think there are new technologies as well that we can help implement.
I agree with the opportunity to educate in rural America. I mean, personal experience, we've all had these experiences. My son-in-law and grandson would have probably been killed if they hadn't been wearing seatbelts a few years back. But how do you what mode do you deliver that information in? Rural America is a little different puppy than urban areas, and getting that information out is often tough. So
yes, thank you for that question. So there's a couple of things. One, we actually do surveys and look at what sorts of messages connect most with rural drivers.
Okay.
And so we actually established and very recently put out a new advertising campaign. This is a TV ad that speaks directly to rural Americans about the need to use seatbelts.
So cell phones have been brought up several times here. In Washington, D.C., I live about 6 blocks from this building. And every once in a while, I actually drive here. And I'm going to tell you, in that 6 blocks, almost without exception, every morning, there's at least one person, and oftentimes more than I have fingers, that are talking on a cell phone, not paying attention to traffic lights, not paying attention to what's going on around them. We can study this issue, and we're probably all guilty of this at some point in time in our driving history too. I know I have been, but it's not acceptable. I think it's worse than drunk driving, quite frankly, and drunk driving is really bad. What are we going to do about this? I mean, I know there's a lot of local communities that have passed laws, but what can we do at the federal level? I mean, we can study the hell out of it. We know what the problem is.
Thank you for that question. I think there is a real opportunity to continue messaging about cell phone use and about distraction in general. As I noted earlier, it accounts for more than 3,000 fatalities each year, but we think that that's vastly underreported.
I would agree.
And I think there is much more opportunity for education, and we need to take much more of a safe systems approach. The issue is that people make mistakes, but that an individual makes a mistake should not lead to their death. So we need to be thinking more holistically about how to address safety, from the driver to the vehicle, to the technology in the vehicle, to the infrastructure.
Yeah. Well, I just hope that you're able to do something on those things. I mean, truthfully, I think we know what the problem is. I think real solutions on reducing death and actual physical action can help a lot. And I'm not big on putting restrictions on people, but on the other hand, we need to figure out how to fix this. I have really one question for Mr. Putnam, and we talked about rapid permitting with some of the previous questioners, and I think that timely permitting is going to be critically important on the bipartisan infrastructure package and others. How do you square rapid permitting with public input?
Thank you, Senator Tester, and I missed the very last part.
Okay, how do you square rapid permitting with public input on the projects?
And thank you for that question, Senator Tester. It's a great question. So very little of the process time usually involves actually getting input from the public. There's a lot of time leading up to it, a lot of time after that. And so I think part of it is really focusing on those elements, not in collecting the public input. It's vital that we get that public input early because that actually can help focus on actual issues and problems, solve those problems early so that you can get a project on the track to success, get a better project at the end of the day. It is a balance and will be one of the areas that we're looking at closely, but we're committed to getting that public input. It's essential, it's the law, but also leads to better process outcomes.
Thank you all. Madam Chair, I hope we can get these people out of committee quickly. I think they're good people, and hopefully we can get them to the floor and nobody holds them up so we can get these folks in their jobs. I think it's important. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Tester. Senator Blackburn.
Thank you, Madam Chairman, and congratulations